Hey, hope you're doing well today. If you're here from my MIT Sloan video essay, then hello, welcome. This is my normal voice when I'm not reciting something that I memorized. This is going to be an informative video because I wish that I had an example of what kinds of stats, activities, and things to write about are in a successful MIT Sloan application. And yeah, if you thought this was MIT for undergrad, well, sorry. I did not apply to MIT actually, but I went and got into Caltech, so if you're interested in seeing that, I guess there's a card right there. You can click whatever picture I'm putting here. If you're not applying to an MBA, this is still interesting and useful to you guys because you'll kind of see what it takes and maybe you'll be interested as well. And keep in mind that I applied when I was in my senior year of Caltech, so in the deferred MBA process, not the regular. I have the MIT Sloan application right here. Institution, California Institute of Technology. And my degree was a Bachelor of Science and I majored in chemical engineering. I got a 4.0 GPA, class rank. I don't know why they asked for this, which is interesting. I had to ask my school to give it to me, but it was 43 out of 247. If you didn't know, Caltech is a tiny school. MIT asks this. I think it's specific to MIT because MIT Sloan is a lot more technical and quant oriented than other MBA programs probably. Under is your undergraduate degree a STEM degree? Then I said yes. And then relevant coursework. I've not taken an accounting course. I have taken a calculus course. Grade got a 4.2 on a scale of 4.0. This part might be kind of boring to you guys, but computer programming, I have taken a computer programming course. Finance, I've not taken a finance course. I have taken a microeconomics course. Okay, and more details here. I have taken a stats course and then course/certification name, finance for non-finance professionals. I took this on my own because Caltech gave us some free Coursera credit because of the pandemic. I put Rice University on Coursera. Format of study was online. Amasa Bishop Study Abroad Prize. It was a regional award where I got to study abroad in Korea for 3 weeks. Next, I got the Northrop Grumman Scholar Award. And then finally, I listed Tau Beta Pi Engineering Honor Society membership. When I studied abroad in Edinburgh the fall of 2020, then I joined an accelerator called Adventure and I got awarded the Best Leader Award. And this was actually an international type award because this accelerator had people from all kind of neighboring European countries, which was really cool. I also put here that I was a Dragon Boat Festival champion. This was in summer of 2018. The stats you've been waiting for. Fun stuff. On the GMAT, I got a total of 760. On the verbal section, I got a 42, quant section a 50, and integrated reasoning an 8. Fun fact,
I actually had 3 technical difficulties when taking this. I took the GMAT online version because I didn't want to write the essay, and yeah, it was so rough.
I'll make a video on how I paired and did well on the GMAT later. I got this good score of a 760 on the first try. I'm not going to give like the specific company name because that's not very important. It's just like personal information. Don't want to share that. In summer 2020, I was an intern at a biotechnology company where I was a process science engineer. In summer 2019, I worked at a large defense technology company where I was a software engineering technical intern. And I worked at that same company back in 2018 as a technical intern. And under these descriptions, JK, never mind. There's nothing interesting here. Okay, and then about anticipating financial scholarship from an employer or other organization, I said yes. I'm not sure if this really helps boost your application in any way. How I found out about MIT Sloan. I actually talked with an MIT Sloan alum who offered to put in a good word for me, so I listed him here. Big thanks to him. I basically reached out to him on LinkedIn. I really recommend you guys just take advantage of, the digital resources at our fingertips because I sent so many LinkedIn messages and actually got a really good hit rate and people were really friendly and helpful. And that kind of gives you an advantage because you really get to hear firsthand about what kind of things MIT looks for, how it's different from other MBA programs and what you can do to make yourself stand out and be more competitive. And plus, in this digital age, a lot of people are willing to just set up a quick 30-minute Zoom meeting. I didn't do the MIT LIGO program. So this is very specific just to the deferred applicants, but yes, I have accepted a post-graduation offer of employment. The transcript in here is like sideways. I was a chemical engineer, which had the greatest number of requirements, having all those technical classes in addition to Caltech's notoriously high workload that's in their academic core. So I had to take all like physics, math, all that stuff. I think that's really appealing to MIT specifically because MIT is also a technology institution. And on this transcript, I have all A's and A minuses, A pluses. I'll just point out some things that stand out and some advice I have for this resume portion, but I had to basically revamp my whole job application resume because it's really different for the MBA. My sections are education, then work experience, additional information where I have entrepreneurial experience and community leadership, and then skills and interests. In work experience, I've listed my employment that I'm going to, which is consulting, and also that I worked as a research assistant in Nobel laureate Francis Arnold's lab group, and then listing my previous internships as mentioned earlier. And what's especially important here for MBA applications is that in those bullet points, you have to use strong action language that shows your proactiveness, your leadership, and making an impact. So the more quantitative you can make that, then better. For example, in my internship, I collaborated with scientists to uncover new development processes which cut drug production costs by 67%. It's really important to emphasize your soft skills too. So even though my background was really technical, I rewrote basically all of my bullets to emphasize the people skills and that EQ that I potentially have that will be beneficial when doing an MBA. And then this is more compelling for admissions to the MIT Sloan program. And for example, for this research assistant thing, I was doing a senior thesis there, and I could have just said that I wrote a senior thesis, but instead my wording is led thesis project to analyze enzymes informing directed evolution for pharmaceutical development. MBA applications are all about that impact that you can have and how you can stand out as someone who does something really amazing and successful post MBA program, because then the MBA program also has a boost in their name, knowing that this amazing successful person came from that school. In entrepreneurial experience and community leadership, I said that I was the creator of A Sharp, a YouTube channel, and this is a music channel where I created and grew the channel to over 33,000 subscribers and over 10 million views. And I wrote that 85% of fans reside outside of the US. So that shows a lot of commitment to creating something and my desire to help people as well. And basically the premise of this channel, I believe, is important too, because what we did is that we spread meaning through music by translating foreign songs into singable English lyrics. So it has that, global impact buzzword here. I also led a project that promoted women empowerment. Furthermore, I was a business development manager of Sleuth AI, which was a fintech startup that I started in Edinburgh. That kind of entrepreneurial experience is cool as well. And then finally, I was a college ambassador / videographer for Caltech. And this is where I created the first set of Caltech vlogs ever on YouTube. And this helped over 800 students because it came out at a perfect time when COVID was here and students couldn't visit campus. So with my help, the admissions team at Caltech and I were able to show the Caltech experience and help students make more informed decisions. I collaborated with a few other college helping platforms such as College Vine and College Scoops. Under skills and interests, I said I was a champion in the regional tennis champions, and then I also mentioned the Bishop Study Abroad Prize again. And finally, that I'm fluent in Mandarin, proficient in Spanish, and I had the certification for finance for non-finance professionals. MIT is pretty special in requiring this cover letter instead of an essay. We have to take even more advantage of the space to sound both professional and really passionate about going into MIT Sloan, but also to put color behind why we pursued the things we did before, why we made the impact and how we did it, and be compelling to say how we can make further impact with an MBA at MIT Sloan. And before starting these writing pieces, it's super important to get a handle and deeper understanding of the differences between the different MBA programs that you're applying to. That's in terms of the culture, the kinds of offerings they have, and the kinds of characteristics that they value. So, for example, MBA mission really breaks down the differences in the top characteristics. So MIT really values collaboration, for example. So I talked about that. Everyone has their own story, so I'll just briefly talk about what things I mentioned in each paragraph. First one, I talked about how Caltech's rigorous technical technical training honed my ability for finding and solving unmet needs. I mentioned the YouTube. At the end of this first paragraph, I said that I see MIT as the bridge between these past successes and my future impact. You definitely hear the word impact a lot when preparing these MBA applications. Then next, I talked about my proudest accomplishment at one of my internships and really explained my thought process and problem-solving skills of how I identified something missing that would make my colleagues' lives easier, and then the steps I took to do it, being very proactive, and then reaching out to the manager myself to see if this is helpful and how to basically go hand in hand with my team members to see how I can improve it even more. And then I mentioned the impact that this had and how grateful my teammates were. At the end of this last paragraph, I tied this past experience back to why I wanted an MBA. So I said, overjoyed by my visible impact, I realized how I can best leverage my analytical abilities and determination to lead change and working in operations management. Finally, in the last paragraph, which is the shortest, I touch upon the different offerings MIT has that I'm interested in, such as the tracks and action learning labs, and how I will be a leader in these kinds of areas to foster Sloan's collaborative culture through coordinating with fellow engineers across the greater MIT community. And as a heads up, for MIT, they're a little different than other MBA programs in that they don't care as much about hearing what you decide to do in the future. Like, you can tell through this brief overview of my cover letter that it was mostly focused on my past experiences, because I believe that the quote they usually say is something like, MIT believes that your past accomplishments are an indicator of your future success. So they just want to see that as a primary data point. Okay, finally, extracurricular activities. I put down A#, the YouTube channel that I was a founder, creator, director. And then secondly, the student faculty committee, where I spearheaded, another buzzword there, the efforts to improve the chemical engineering department's curriculum at Caltech. Finally, the Caltech admissions office, where I was the first videographer and ambassador for Caltech to have students be able to understand and see the Caltech experience through a digital lens. And last page, oh, this is just academic awards repeated again. That's weird. It's kind of ironic, not trashing on you MIT, but it's kind of ironic because it's a tech school that there's like a technical difficulty in this application. Hope this was helpful, and let me know if you guys have any questions. I got into CBS as well, so I'm planning to make a video on that. And I also applied to Stanford and Harvard, so maybe it's helpful to also see what I did there to see maybe why I didn't get into those two. Please subscribe for more helpful content, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!